morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Voice of Radio. So today, we've got more news about that there upcoming Japanese set that we talked about a little while ago. You see, and I've got to give a shout out to the lovely Primal Lugia, stop me if you've heard that one before, because it turns out, over in Japan, there have appeared listings for some new sets titled Single Strike Master and Rapid Strike Master. Now, we kind of knew about these before because, of course, there were trademarks issued over in Japan for these. Pokémon, or, whoever was responsible, went and got trademarks for these particular phrases to be used for products like this. So we knew that these were going to be the names, but then again, there's trademarks and there's always a chance we misinterpreted or it was for something else, etc. The fact that we've got listings here is pretty good news, quite frankly. And I know we've just got listings, we don't have an official confirmation or announcement, but it is very much worth bearing in mind we've seen this before. And the general rule is, when the Japanese shops are listing this, they've been pretty gosh darn good so far. So this should be taken as confirmation. Not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but you know what? It's not too bad. So what do we actually know about it? Well, we know that each of the sets will contain 70 cards plus secret rares. It is worth pointing out at this stage that this is going to be a double set, like Sword and Shield over in Japan. The first one, in fact, since Sword and Shield. They do this every so often in Japan. They give us double sets. So, and in Japan, they literally are double sets. That is to say, 2 different booster packs with different artwork coming in different boxes with different set lists. And generally speaking, when those sets come over here, we will just amalgamate into one set. But over in Japan, they are literally different set lists. So, as we're going to get to in a minute, I am expecting to see the debut of Gigantamax, Blastoise, and Venusaur. I'm expecting them in this set. But you would expect to have one in each of these packs. And if you wanted a particular one, you would have to buy, I don't know, let's say Blastoise is in Single Strike Master. You wouldn't be able to buy packs of Rapid Strike Master and pull that card. They are very much double packs. And we saw this with Sword and Shield, and essentially, this is going to lead to larger sets overall. Not going forward, not for now until the end of time, but certainly that will make this set bigger overall. I mean, we're looking at 2 sets of 70 cards each. That is going to give you 140 cards overall. Incidentally, that is actually bigger than Sword and Shield was. Sword and Shield was 60 cards each plus secret rares, and they were split into Sword and Shield, whereas this is going to be 70 cards each plus secret rare, so 20 more in total. I mean, to use a couple other examples, the Sword and Shield 2, Rebellion Crash, came in at 96 cards plus secret rare, and then the mini set Explosive Walker came in at 70 cards. So this is kind of double the size of a mini set over in Japan. This is a big set. But as well as being a big set, we've actually got a weird thing in terms of release date. Because these are releasing on the 22nd of January. Now, we talked about this before, and I told you that they were supposed to be released in December, because release schedule-wise that would make sense. But I also told you they'd basically have to release it right on Christmas. Because you see, the next set that we've got confirmed is High Class Pack Shiny Star V, which is coming out on the 20th of November. But the thing is, if we go then launching a big set early December, you've got basically no time for that set to actually breathe. Now, bearing in mind, although this isn't confirmed, we know that Shiny Star V is having shiny Pokemon in, and we know that in Champion's Path they randomly chucked in a shiny Charizard, so I think it's fair to assume that that is going to be one of probably quite a few shiny Pokemon in Shiny Star V. This is to say that this is quite a important set, quite a big set, quite a noteworthy set. They are not going to want to basically release another set to overtake it almost immediately. That doesn't make a huge amount of sense. So what they do is they go releasing it in January, but that does lead to a weird release. Because generally speaking, what we expect in Japan is, in a 3-month span, a main set, a mini set, and a month off. So we have just had released in September Astonishing Volt Tackle. That is the latest set over in Japan. We're not getting a set in October, but then in November, they're getting this Shiny Star V, which is the mini set. So that all makes perfect sense. They are getting a main set, a mini set, and a month off. But then they're having December off as well, which means essentially October, November, and December is a 3-month stretch where only Shiny Star V is being released. And we can probably expect a decent percentage of that pack, or at least the most sought after cards, to be just shiny reprint of existing cards. That's what GX Ultra Shiny was, and although we haven't been told this is that kind of set, all the signs are there. So that leads to quite an anemic release schedule in Japan. Now, maybe this is literally just the pandemic. Maybe the fact is that production has been pushed aside, and this is essentially what's happening. They are taking an extra month off to try and keep up with the demands of designing and printing and shipping and all of that, with a global pandemic which is just shutting industry down. That would make sense. Maybe they've really got a lot of faith in Shiny Star V, and they want to give it a little bit of room to breathe. Maybe there's some other reason behind the scenes. Maybe there's some other marketing coincidence they want to be jumping on. I'm not entirely sure. But what I can tell you is this is a larger than normal set, but we're getting it a month later than we would expect. Having said that, we're expecting it right on Christmas, so this does make a fair bit of sense. Now, in terms of the set as a whole, we are not really being furnished with a lot of information yet, but given that they're called Rapid Strike Master and Single Strike Master, it is extremely confirmed at this stage that these are going to be featured around Urshifu, and you can expect at the very least the cover Pokemon for each of these two sets to be Urshifu, and to be able to get an Urshifu V in each of these packs. Decent chance of an Urshifu V Max as well. I would expect an Urshifu and an Urshifu V Max in each of these, though again, there's no confirmation of that at the moment, but it certainly does seem kind of sensible at this stage. This obviously means it is being based around the Isle of Armor, which is where my potential prediction for Blastoise and Venusaur come from, although again, it is worth pointing out that Blastoise and Venusaur are getting their own separate VMAX decks, so I don't know, maybe in the end, we're not getting that. Maybe they won't be in this Isle of Armor featured set, purely because they're coming separately as their own decks. But of course, anyone that spent any kind of time with the Isle of Armor will know that really the only new Pokemon are Urshifu and these Gigantamax forms. That's all we really know in terms of expected cards. Now, this next bit we really don't know too much about, but oh my goodness, the listing is exciting. Because there's also going to be Rengeki Rapid Strike and Ichigeki Single Strike premium trainer boxes. And in each of these, you get 157 cards, including a holo, a UV1 card, 48 reprinted normal cards, and 108 energy cards. Now, you also get coins and markers and things of that nature in 15 packs, but that's really not what we're worried about here. We are worried about this listing saying holo plus UV1 card. We have absolutely no idea what this means. This could be some kind of weird way of listing a Pokemon V or V Max card, but we've never seen it in Japanese listings before, so that is extremely unlikely. There is a chance that this has been misinterpreted, but the way it's listed really makes it look like a new type of card. And remember, we are overdue. Every year at the World Championships, Pokemon introduce some new card. We saw Pokemon V. We've seen Pikachu and Zekrom introducing Tag Team Pokemon. We saw Solgaleo and Lunala bringing in Pokemon GX. Every year, Pokemon are like, hey, here's a new card at the World Championships. There was no World Championships, and that didn't happen this year. For anyone that's wondering, no, it was not going to be Amazing Rares, and the reason is extremely simple. The new type of card we're always shown at the World Championships is always one that hasn't been seen in Japan, and Amazing Rares were seen in Japan before World, so it wasn't going to be them. I mean, honestly, over the last few years, the weakest announcement we've got were where we were showing Pokemon like Boswell to introduce Ultra Beast GXs, because we've seen GXs the previous year, and these were basically just GXs. Could this be a new type of Pokemon V card? Now, it's worth bearing in mind that Sword and Shield launched last December in Japan, and given that this is essentially the December set, even though it's coming out in January, this is 1 year on. Or to put it another way, this is the start of the second year of the Sword and Shield block. So this would be an awfully convenient time to introduce a new type of card. On the thumbnail and the description, title and all of that, I've put question marks next to new type of card because it hasn't been confirmed that we're getting one. But it is literally the perfect timing for a new type of card, and we've got a product listed here with a UV card, which is nothing we've seen in any listing, either Japanese or English, before. If you ask me my opinion, if you ask me for a prediction, I do think we're getting a new kind of card, and I for one am absolutely psyched. No, it's not confirmed, no, I'm not telling you it's definitely happening, but I am telling you the listing certainly seems to say that, and I am telling you that I believe it to be true. So there we go. So that's pretty much what we know, and I'm sorry, I know there was lots of, it's probably this and we can deduce this, but honestly, this is super exciting news, but it is super exciting news which is cashed in. We don't actually know all that much, but we kind of do if we read between the lines. So nice and simple. For now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to know what you think about this news and how excited you are by this news, so let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.